You hear me, son? It's these days right now, son. What you talking about is those days. Back when we had rules, son. Back when we used to do this by the book, nigga. Growing up in the hood, I learned to spit it raw like you never heard before. Mind on getting this paper, that's what I'm living for. Get money and get more. Before you cook it, gotta chop it like a shoddy axle. Killer like jigsaw. Money in flux, all I got ask for. Laundry mat and asshole. Speedboat equipped with the crash ball. Fuck you think I'm out here grinding for? Multiply, add on and stack more. I know niggas that'll die to come this far. Couple dollars, bad bitch jewels with the fast car. Seen it all before on the crate in front of the corner store. Bubbling, chasing kid money, triple doubling, 3-6 crushing it. Currency keep coming in, hand to hand pumping it. Money spent even counterfeit. Get mine, get yours, get money, get more. Guns tucked, guns up, point scene, money lost. When I was growing up, we had rules. Black women, that was black Jews. Snatched the moment, we was kids living like grown men. Where did we go wrong? Kept it real, doing this shit for so long. 1 to 3, 3 to 9, 2 to 6. You ain't new been in the street with this. Fame lab, we keep it break. I'm from a loose back metal G's. Still know my roots, black Heracles. Change what the game's about. Live at the lab at King of Fame's house. I'm in the hood, still banging out. This money put my name in your mouth. And hoes ain't getting shit from me. But when daylight approach, still coaching bitch money on the brick. Smoke sipping lovely. I want it all at the tip till no one's above me. And never fall. My fanfare today, hope they never get the call. I'm in the bullpens, the hospital, or will it be the real end? Until that, I'm bringing meals in. Bit on the block and make deals to win. Big Jupiter not. I'm in control of most lucrative spots. I had enough and refused to stop. The whole block gave clues to the cops. Made the news I'm hot. This is the life you could choose or not. When I was growing up, we had rules. Black women, that was black Jews. Snatched the moment, we was kids living like grown men. Where did we go wrong? Kept it real, doing this shit for so long. 1 to 3, 3 to 9, 2 to 6. You ain't new been in the street with this. Fame lab, keep my nigga Van said it's destined to happen. My nigga Cali told me get it cracking. By all means, treat the industry like fiends. Blow them down like weed. Money is the root of hate, lust, jealousy, and greed. For the right feet, I will squeeze like whole leaves. Cook cracks on raw tracks and sling keys. Can't move packs over weak tracks like hair weave. Gotta get mine and breathe. Stack G's. My flow is 4D. Nigga take a freeze. 360 degrees. Get cheese. Push fees. Christ faces a medallion. Iced up white truck parked up right in front of housing. 3-6 crushing it. Currency keep coming in. Hand to hand pumping it. Money spent even counterfeit. Get mine. Get yours. Get money. Get more. Guns tucked. Guns up. Point scene. Money lost. When I was growing up, we had rules. Black women, that was black Jews. Snatched the moment, we was kids living like grown men. Where did we go wrong? Kept it real, doing this shit for so long. 1 to 3, 3 to 9, 2 to 6. You ain't new been in the street with this. Fame lab, we keep it brick.
So we got 3 people in here right now. So you know what I need y'all to do. Click that like button so we could get the rest of the What Did I Miss crew. We need the rest of my What Did I Miss crew in here. Of course, us 3 could chop it up. I guess y'all some of the observers that just check out the page and don't really comment. Because you know what happens if I start off now, then I end up having to repeat. I end up having to repeat everything that I said. we got a pretty good connection today too. It's better than it has been. All right. Everybody on the way in, do the each one teach one and hit that like button so we can get the rest of the people in here and do some building. Have our usual cipher. So we're going to talk about some of the differences between the sinner man who agreed and the sinner man who searches trains of years. See, because one thing we got to pay attention to, right, is in that particular degree, it only says we agree on one thing. Divine truth for love. Halftime. All right, that's what I'm saying. Appreciate those first people who came in the room and hit that like button for me. So now my brothers and sisters can make it in here. Everybody do the each one teach one and hit that like button. But yeah, though, divine truth and halftime, you know, this was about getting to the science of the sinner man who agrees versus the sinner man who searches for trends for years. Because like I was saying, see, when you dealing with the knowledge cipher degree, the knowledge out of cipher degree, right? That only tells you that we agreed on one thing. So see, a lot of the aspects, what's going on with all the music and films? So see, a lot of the aspects, you know, I was just telling everybody else Manola Music and Films that, you know, we got a degree that tells you about the sinner man who agrees versus the sinner man who searches for trillions of years. You see what I'm saying? And in that degree, it only tells you that we agree on one thing. You understand what I'm saying? We agree that there is no God but the Son of Man. So just saying that a lot of other aspects, you know, that people look at. Somebody even asked the question in the room a couple of days ago about you know, why it's not more unity in, you know what I'm saying, amongst civilized people, why it's not more unity, and why, you know, it's not more cooperation. And that's because, you know, having the knowledge, that only brings us up to one agreement, that there is no God but the Son of Man. You see what I'm saying? So now we deal with the science of, you know, what is the characteristics of the Son of Man who agrees versus the characteristics of the Son of Man who searches for trillions of years. Yo, today's connection seems super good. Is it me? I haven't seen the light has been green steadily. Universal, what's going on? Maybe my topic today is Queen Mecca, what's going on? Maybe my topic today is acceptable. God bless. What is going on, Lord? I think the P-line is taking it again today. But see, we got to look at the characteristics of that. You see what I'm saying? Because, when you say search for trillions of years, you know what I'm saying? You might get an idea. You understand what I'm saying? That, this is just talking about somebody out with a flashlight and a telescope, you know what I'm saying? And they searching for the mystery God. You see, here's the thing about the Son of Man who agreed, and the Son of Man who searched for trillions of years. The Son of Man who agreed found the answer in himself. He found it in himself. You see what I mean? Who agreed that there is no God but the Son of Man. He saw that within himself. And at the same token, the Son of Man who searched for trillions of years, he searched in his own mind too. And you don't see Christians out. I mean, you see some of them, they do their archaeology or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But that's really a historical matter. Like in turn, you got historians and they might be influenced by this religion or that religion. You know what I'm saying? But, the people who's searching for a mystery God, the people in the church, they searching in their own mind. They asking questions and questioning the truth in their own mind. So see, it's not necessarily to say that searching for trillions of years, like I said, is being out there with binoculars, and you looking in the sky to see if you see Gabriel flying past. So see, even when you dealing with a situation where, like I was saying, just dealing with the cooperation, right, amongst original people. A lot of times you see it'll be a situation and the idea will be good, right? The plan will be good, but then the conversation will break down. It might be a plan to accomplish something, right? But then that plan ends up breaking down because somebody's in there in the conversation searching for something that doesn't have anything to do with the success of whatever the endeavor is. See, that's a person who's searching for trillions of years. A person who never finds the solution in themselves. And so when they speaking, they never speaking of solutions. They always speaking about searching more and more and more for things that a lot of times they don't even know what it is. So we get in conversations all the time like this with people that we can't agree with. See, that's the difference. The person who agrees, when they look within themselves, they see the solutions. And when they look within they brothers and they sisters, they see the solution. You understand what I'm saying? And the people who is always searching for trillions of years, inside themselves, they never see the solution. And amongst a people, they never see the solution. God bless said they always saying, but why and but how? Yeah. They constantly question it. They constantly question it. It's not to say that questions is not positive. You know, you gotta ask questions of, you know, anything you're doing in order to show and prove it. You know what I'm saying? If you sailing a ship, you know, you want to make sure that it can float. You understand what I'm saying? But these are the two different people that, you know what I'm saying, you know, like God bless is saying, you know, they saying but when they see rain, hail, snow, and also hear thunder above their heads. But bring rain, hail, snow, and earthquake. Because they didn't see, you know, their relationship to the universe. So they went searching for some other idea of what's causing all this to happen. They didn't see the solution in themselves. So, you know, anytime you find yourself in a conversation with a person, right, that don't have none of the answers within themselves, you're going to be dealing with a person who's never going to be able to come up with a solution. See, because the religious people that's searching for a mystery God, they never have a solution. What do they say? Well, we just going to trust in God. They never have a solution. They're just dogmatically seeking. But like a few days, you know, I got into a conversation. I was talking about it yesterday with the brother Phil G. And that was one of the things he was talking about, was that he doesn't, in terms of taking the devil off of the planet, right? He doesn't see that within humanity. You know what I'm saying? Like he was saying that, you know, he sees, you know, God, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but, you know, he was saying that he sees, you know, God in he didn't really put it in a spooky way. I don't want to say he said that, you know what I mean? But he was saying that, you know, he sees God as divinity. You know what I'm saying? In terms of in his demeanor, you know, in his equality, how he deal with the people. But that he didn't see that amongst humanity. So being that he didn't see that amongst humanity, he couldn't see how the devil could be taken off the planet. So that was where, you know, he, you know, it struck me a little bit where I was like, you know, but then, you know, at the same time, you never know who he knows. Like the people that he knows, maybe they pieces of shit. You understand what I'm saying? So maybe, and you know, but because that is what he was saying, that in his experience, he hasn't come across, you know, the type of individuals that he think could come together and take the devil off the planet. You know, I encountered a different group of people. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, throughout your day, throughout your week, throughout your life, you're going to run into a lot of people that's searching for trillions of years. And that's going to be the common denominator amongst all of them, is that they never had a solution. See, because what happened, for us as individuals, if you in this room and you a 5%er, right? All right, why, son, peace. If you in this room, right, and you a 5%er, then you stop searching for trillions of years when you got the what? The problem solver. When you got the supreme mathematics and realize that, you was the solver and the solution. Calm Islamly, all right? Y'all gotta do the each one teach one, everybody, and hit that like button. Hit that like button. Hold on for a second. Check this door. You understand what I'm saying? Wise ruler, calm Islam came in, you know what I'm saying? But that's going to be the common denominator that you find with all those people, you know what I'm saying? And that's going to be the difference that you see in yourself. You see what I'm saying? It's like a person, it was a saying a long time ago. I think it was from some Asian people. It was, I don't know if it was Chinese or Japanese, but the saying said, a man who says that something cannot be done needs to get out of the way of the man who's doing it. See, because the man who say that it cannot be done, he's what? Searching for trillions of years for somebody else to do it. Maybe some mysterious being that exists everywhere and has magical powers. See, we stop searching for that mystery God when we realize that we the only salvation that we gonna get. When we realize that the only salvation that's ever come to us has come from within our people. See, like I said, you can search for the mystery God for trillions of years. Historically, he's never showed up. Like I said, when the Greeks and the Romans came, the Egyptian gods and saved them. When they came to Africa to take slaves, the Portuguese and the Dutch and the Spanish, the British, the African guys didn't save them. When they went over there to carpet bomb the Middle East, the Egyptian, the Arabic God didn't save them. The only salvation that's ever come to any people came from within those people. The people produced their own savior. Divine Truth said those who bear witness to a mystery God see the treasure stored in heaven as a reality, but haven't been in the presence of anyone who came back from the grave to tell them if that's actual. What's going on, Nat? Exactly. See, because the person, got the mathematician in the house, New Black World Order, because, even look, when you look at Adam, because you got into this concept of heaven, when you look at Adam, how did he end up getting kicked out of the Garden of Eden, right? Which is paradise on earth. And he already was in heaven, right? He got kicked out searching. So you already had the knowledge. God already manifested what it is that was the natural order. And you went disaccording. You was already given the knowledge, but you put the wisdom before the knowledge. And went searching for that does not exist. So now you end up out of heaven, and now, like you said, you searching for some treasure that's stored somewhere else that you won't be able to see until you die. But all of these are the situations, where you find yourself, just like I gave the example yesterday of, your parents send you to school to learn to get an education. And some people go in there, and you get caught up searching for the kind of party. You searching for the fun bunch to be around. A lot of people that's, they get into crime. Your crimies is people that you out there playing with, you out there going to school with. And then what happens at the end of your crime career? You realize you've been chasing an illusion. You realize what you've been doing. See, that's what happens too. You gotta realize sometimes the sinner man search for trillions of years, and then he gotta come back and agree anyway. But most people that search for trillions of years, they don't like doing that. Because you know what that is. See, when they search for trillions of years, and then they gotta come back and agree, see, now they gotta say that you was right, and they was wrong. And how many people is willing to do that? Especially the people with the characteristics that you see, to be constantly searching for that does not exist. You constantly trying to search for a problem within the solution. See, like there's people when, look, when Allah said, he wanted to found a nation, there was people that saw problems within his solution. And now look, 54 years later, 55 years later, they still searching. They still out there speaking against Allah and, what he made born. Smell good. What's the deal? And those are the characteristics of the sinner man who's searching for trillions of years. Because like I said, you got to realize that goes topic to topic. That goes topic to topic. It didn't say that we agreed on everything. it said that we agree that there is no God but the Son of Man. But what about when it comes to everything else? See, like I said, we can look at, the different situations, over the years, right? I brought this up before, that historically there's been a Son of Man that agreed and a Son of Man that searched for trillions of years having popularity at the same time. Why's you? What's going on? Meaning, like, you had, you know what I think I did wrong today, Smell Goods? When I first started the live, I didn't realize that I had it on private. And then as I turned it on public, people start coming in slowly. So I guess today it's more important than ever that people do the each one teach one and hit that like button. So we're gonna have a lot of people in the What Did I Miss crew today. Cause I started out rather but yeah, I think that was just something that I did. Got Asiatic God Mathematics, so we got the wordsmith and the mathematician in here today. You know what I'm saying? Thomas Longley said, were the Egyptian deities gods considered to be mystery gods? Can we point to a civilization within our light of history that did not believe in the mystery god? Joe Self, what's going on? Yeah, I was just saying that I was so busy trying to get the right stream that I went live and the thing was still on private. So I think that's what ended up happening today. And then I got a way to do alerts on this program right here, but something's still going on. Something's going on with Apple, man. I gotta find somebody to talk to over there. Well, with the Egyptians, they went through a lot of different stages. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, they got different dynasties, and then you got it's another designation within Egypt where it's like, old Egypt and new Egypt. I can't remember the exact terminologies that they use for it. Aisha Bethia. Aisha Bethia is new. Where you from, Aisha? So what I'm saying, and you had Upper Egypt and Lower Egypt. You know what I'm saying? You got the era, before the Hyksos, however you pronounce that. You understand what I mean? So you had lots of people that was coming to Egypt and diluting, mixing, and tampering with whatever they was teaching. You see what I'm saying? There's always people who come to a misunderstanding, right? When, like I was saying yesterday, when you looking at, even stories that we call mythology, those characters, yeah, to see people in the, what was that called? It was, 1100 BC? Like in 1100 BC, there was some kind of, New Black World Order got it. Middle Kingdom, Later Kingdom, pre-dynastic. That's what I'm saying. So in those different times, in order for them to separate it, it's showing that, they had a different understanding about themselves and about the world. You know what I mean? So by the time, what's this guy's name? Alexander the Great is coming through. Yeah, there's lots of people who misunderstand that, when you looking at these characters, when you looking at these pictures and things of that nature, right? you know, we didn't, you know, people with dog heads and stuff like that, of that nature. You understand what I'm saying? You know, when you get people that's really out there searching for a person with a dog head, then they've gone off the deep end. You see what I'm saying? And that's always going to happen. You know what I'm saying? It's just a matter of how many people is going to get caught up in that. How many people is not going to realize that when you read a scripture or you see these hieroglyphics, that these are just characters in a story.
They call it.
All right, but
Not call it.
these are just characters in a story that represent ideas. Ideas that different people can live out, you know what I'm saying, in different days, in different times, in different places. But when you get caught up, you know, see, the first thing you do is you depend on the mystery God for your salvation, and you don't prepare yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Preparing yourself to be your own salvation. You see what I'm saying? The way, like, you know, Fard, according to, you know, that story, he was prepared by his father for the mission that he had to do. You understand what I'm saying? Fard prepared Elijah. Elijah prepared Malcolm. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, clearly when we look at what happened, we know that those people didn't prepare themselves to deal with their own salvation. Aisha Bethia said, build on Monrovia, Liberia, and what happened when black people returned to Africa instead of assimilating into white culture. Well, this is a little bit more of a complex situation than the way you just said it. You said black people returned to Africa instead of assimilating into white culture. Now, the history of Monrovia in Liberia is that when the black people returned from America to Africa, they had already assimilated a little too much white culture from being over here. And when they went back over there, they enslaved the tribes that was inhabiting that area before they got there. So, I guess I'm not clear on your question, but if you just I guess reword it or whatever, and we'll get back to it. Asiatic God Mathematics says, so is trillion meant literal, or is it like an idiom to express a long time? How you see that? Well, it's definitely an idiom to express a long time. You know what I'm saying? Because if you calculate according to the amount of Qurans that Elijah Muhammad said, it was 24 Qurans, and each Quran is 25,000 years. That doesn't equal up to trillions of years. So it's definitely telling you that for time immemorial, that has always been brothers that was searching for trillions of years. I mean, that was searching for that does not exist. And there's always going to be brothers that's searching for that does not exist. You see what I mean? If it's been going on for trillions of years, ain't nothing really gonna stop it. Asiatic mathematics said also a trillion has knowledge wisdom ciphers, which can have something to do with knowledge wisdom months in a year, or the knowledge wisdom constellations, knowledge wisdom hours in the day, and also the night. I mean, those are things that could be drawn up. You know, I probably wouldn't make it that complex. You know, I would just keep it within, you know, mathematics itself. The people that searched for trillions of years was the people that overlooked the knowledge and wisdom. They overlooked the knowledge and wisdom and searched for that does not exist. Because, you know, like I said, that's a characteristic of that person. That when you put the truth and the solution in front of the son of man who searched for trillions of years, he don't see that. You know what I'm saying? Like how many, you know, we've had conversations, most people in here, if you were 5%, you had conversation with religious people. You know what I'm saying? And what happens when you point out, you know, when you really point out something where it's like, okay, they can't explain that one. They overlook that and say something like, well, all I know is, you know, I pray to Jesus and he's helping me with this. He's you know. They go into that. They overlook the knowledge and wisdom the same way a person in any situation, right? When you're not the son of man who can agree on a solution and agree that the solution is within the people in that cipher, right? Because once you see it's a problem, who's the best knower? If you see it's a problem, who's the best knower to solve that problem? See, like I asked y'all, you know, a question before I made a statement how, you know, you have somebody where, you know, person A is doing something wrong. So I say something to person A, right, about what's wrong. And then person A says, well, what about this person that's doing that and that person that's doing this? Yeah, well, you the one that's down with them because you didn't say nothing. Like if you knew about that, you know, I didn't know that was going on. How is it my responsibility to deal with that if you the one that knew it was a problem? You see what I'm saying? All right, let me catch back up here. New Black World Order said they had, Blair and Snotty came in the room too. New Black World Order said they had occupation history being ruled by foreigners. What you talking about? We on Liberia now? I need Aisha to clarify her question a little bit because like the premise of it is a little bit I don't know if I agree with it. Joseph said the sea people were the same people who left Patmos during the first 200 years of the devil being made, physical, aka the Vikings. Divine Truth Allah said, it speaks about what you are speaking about in the book by Gerald Massey, Light of the World, individuals taking on the characteristics of animals. How when brothers say, I'm a wolf or I'm a gorilla. Yeah. And that's not really something that's ancient history. That's something that's known in this day and time. You know what I'm saying? That dudes, you know, different civilizations, right? If a dude was if a man was a hunter, right, then he might wear a lion skins on him. You understand what I'm saying? To, you know what I'm saying, take on the spirit, the mentality of a lion as a hunter. This is something that, you know, this is, you know, there's people doing that right now. But see, if you get too caught up into not understanding that, okay, this is something that you are dealing with to, you know, put your mind in a certain state, and you start really believing that you're the lion man, see, now you've gotten caught up. Shaquem from Flatbush. Joseph said, the knowledge when searching outside of self, there is no knowledge and wisdom outside of self in the sense of a beginning. So they searching for that which does not exist. Yeah, that's what I was saying before, you know, y'all came in, was that the person who agreed, they found the solution within themselves. We talking about in terms of that degree, the person who agreed, right, that there is no son of man, they found the answer within themselves. And at the same time, the person who searched for trillions of years, they searching in their own mind for answers too. Like, you don't see Christians outside with a flashlight and a telescope looking for God like that. I mean, you know, like I said, you got archaeologists that, you know, they might go looking for the Ark of the Covenant, or they might go looking for Noah's Ark or some of that nature. But, you know, your average Christian that we would say is searching for their mystery God, they not searching in the places where they say he is. They searching in their own mind, in their own heart. Calm Islamly said, trillions could be both literal and figurative. Trillion is definitely imaginable in a beginningless universe. I mean, I can see what you're saying, you know, but you know, in particular, that degree is talking about history on the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? Like when it's you know, first of all, when you look at the 1 in 40, you know what I'm saying? You know, the really the first 9 degrees is telling you about history on the planet Earth. You know what I'm saying? However, you know, I can see what you're saying in terms of, you know, a day is like 1,000 years to God. So, you know, that would be a calculation that would have to be made. But see, even when you say in the beginningless universe, you know, that's still saying the same thing that I said in terms of, you know, it just means that it's always been happening. You know, it's something that, you know, it started, you know, like I said, even Adam, when he put the wisdom before the knowledge and searched for whatever was the answers that he was going to get when he ate the fruit, it's telling you that always existed. You know what I'm saying? When Cain killed Abel, You know, he was looking for a proper offering to give God. You know what I'm saying? You had what you had. He was searching for something that ain't exist within himself. And he wasn't satisfied within himself to the point that he killed his brother. Calm Islamly, the trillions could be both literal. Oh, I already read this right here. New Black World Order, the mathematician said the trillions is not, it's not literally trillions of years ago. Oh yeah, right. On the Egypt history, yeah, that's a particular people, you know, the brother's just saying he's talking about all of time. You know, the Egyptian history, that's a slice of time. Daniel Addison said knowledge the science behind the Planet of the Apes. Which particular science of the Planet of the Apes? Because there's some obvious ones, but the Planet of the Apes had a lot of subplots and things of that nature. Got the other AC in the building. Calm Islamly said physicists now saying time is an illusion and universe is a simulation. In that context, trillions or quintillions are really nothing. Yeah, see, this is where science, you know, scientists, you know, because, you know, even within the fields of science, you know, they've recognized that, you know, observing a phenomenon changes it. The actual observation of a phenomenon when you get to quantum physics changes it. I mean, the universe is a simulation.
It's 5 o'clock.
A simulation. You know, see, time being an illusion, that's actual. You know, because it's a measurement of, you know, it's a measurement of movement. So, for instance, you ever go someplace, right? You go someplace for the first time, and it takes you a long time to get there. But then on the way back, you get there, it seems like much quicker. The same movement took place, and it probably was the same measurement if you look on the clock. But as a concrete, time is a mental concept. So like when we say now, right? Like see, I just said now. That's already the past now. You see what I mean? Time in and of itself, without the matter. Like when we say, what would T.I. be without me? Time without the observation of the movement of the matter. See, like right now, we got 12 hours in a day. That's just somebody decided to break it up into 12 hours. See, we could break it up into 6 hours and just have 120 minutes per hour. You know, it's just a measurement of things that we doing, you know, so that, you know, we can keep things on schedule. You know what I mean? Clocks didn't always exist. Calendars didn't always exist. You see what I'm saying? Like, you know, even, you know, what we call time is flawed. Like, if it wasn't an illusion, right? Or if it was a concrete thing, you wouldn't be able to just throw another day in every 4 years just cause. You understand what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to go from the Julian calendar to the Gregorian calendar, you know, just because you figured something out. You know, that part I understand. The universe is a simulation, you know, so a simulation of what? Like whose figment of imagination are we? And you know, once you get, then this person is God. So you know, a simulation of what? Asiatic mathematics said I was watching Frankenstein, and that reminded me of how the devil was made, especially when the man made his name, was Adam in the movie. Yeah, Frankenstein definitely has some similarities. You know, Dr. Frankenstein has some similarities to Yakub. District 120 said Elijah built on the animals as far as monkeys and gorillas, with the devil trying to graft himself back to the original. Yeah, that's what he said. Daniel Addison says, soul of man. Our self-Lord Allah said, could this search be a form of denial? That's the, you know, it's a form of doubt. It's a form of denial. You know what I'm saying? Guaranteed. You know, like the brother was saying, you know, trillions of years is a unit followed by 12 ciphers. So yeah, this is a person who's overlooking the knowledge and wisdom. What happened to my picture? Is that just my screen? There's a person who looks past the knowledge and wisdom, you know, in any situation. Absolutely. That's a form of searching for trillions of years. See, that's what the you know, this particular live is about, is that you gotta take it, in order to make that a lesson, like I was saying yesterday, you gotta realize that that's just one situation. We agreed that there is no God but the Son of Man. So somebody was asking me a question a couple days ago, why it's not more cooperation among civilized people. You see what I'm saying? And that's one of the issues, is that when they come together, the only thing that we've agreed on, right, is that there's no God but the Son of Man. But then when we get into all the other things, you know, that's knowledge. But what about wisdom and understanding and culture? And, you understand what I'm saying? Once we get into all of those things, then we get into searching for that does not exist. You see what I'm saying? Like, for instance, you know, let's say the NOI, you know, I don't want to harp on them or manufacture no problems, but I'm just saying that, you know, yeah, we would come together and we'll agree on the knowledge, but then we don't agree on the wisdom. We don't agree on how the action should take place. We don't agree on the culture. We don't have the same understanding. You see what I'm saying? So in every situation that you deal with, right, you got to know the characteristics of the Son of Man who searched for trillions of years, and what's the characteristics of the Son of Man who agrees. You understand what I'm saying? And being in denial, that's one of the characteristics of the Son of Man that searched for trillions of years. You understand what I'm saying? Denying that the solution is the solution. Daniel Addison said, trillions of years, in my own understanding, is when man would was without form till that thought began to manifest as energy, ATOM. I mean, guaranteed, you know, when you say trillions of years, you know, it applies to what you just saying, right? I don't know if this concept of, you know, man searching for trillions of years you know, when everything is just thought and without form. Joseph said there's always a portion of the population that are or will be dissatisfied no matter what. Some people are naturally adversarial. Yeah. That's another characteristic of a person who is going to search for trillions of years. Hyper competitiveness. Like hyper competitiveness. Where they always looking for a reason to, you know, get into a conflict and a challenge on any situation. Ajax Mathematics said, I have a lesson on the clock and it states we didn't keep track of time until we had to keep track of the devil. I never heard that one, but time, it does have a lot to do with the speed of movement of people on the planet. Like even when you deal with time zones didn't come into existence until it was trains. See, when it was trains and the train was moving fast enough that if you said, okay, the train is gonna be here at 2:00, that's when they started noticing that, 2:00 is not the same over there as it is over here. Before that, nothing moved fast enough for them to notice that discrepancy. So I mean, that's possible. You know, it's not something I can show and prove, but AC said this is one of my favorite degrees. Thomas Lumley said, like when you in dreamless sleep, time folds back into itself and only the conscious remains till you wake up. Yeah. You know, and you know, when you wake up, depending on how refreshed you feel, you might feel like you rested a long time or you feel like you rested a short time. Daniel Addison said the sundial here. District 120 says searching tends to lead to wandering or going in circles. That's another good one. That's a characteristic of people that search for trillions of years. They talk in circles, but the circles never connect. Like they the person that's always like, a minute ago, you just told me this. And now you telling me something that contradicts what you just said. But this is another characteristic. This is a way to know, you understand what I mean? Because you gotta realize, if you get caught up with these people, right? They got you searching for trillions of years now too. Or they got you searching for trillions of years too now. With them. So like I said, if you got a solution to something, and then somebody is just there to search for trillions of years for that problem that don't exist within your solution. And then you get into an argument with them. Now we get into that zone where they tell you, look, don't argue with fools, because it ends up being no difference between y'all. Joe Self said, time is relevant, time is relative. The observer decides and agrees to the observance of the motion. True indeed, with time, but with the whole universe being a simulation, that is that's one of those things like string theory. One of the reasons that there's string theory is because some of the things that are proposed by scientists are highly, highly, highly improbable. You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the dude that discovered, it was two English guys that discovered DNA. I'm pretty sure one of them was named Crick. And Crick made a statement that a tornado could pass through a junkyard, and it would be more likely that tornado would form a functioning 747 airplane out of the scraps in the junkyard, that's more probable than DNA. Like, I'm not wording what I'm saying right. That the tornado passing through the junkyard and forming an airplane is more probable than, these different amino acids and things of that nature forming into the coherent DNA structure that we have right now, just naturally in whatever primordial soup, where they say, just over years and years and years. So assimilation, God bless it. First thing that popped in my head with you when you say trillions is the body has trillions of cells. Some say 100 trillion. AC said now really is the time now is the time we really need to come together, yeah. But some of us is still searching for that does not exist. I don't know if you talk, which particular aspect you're talking about, but in particular, in terms of the solutions that, we're gonna need to implement in order to survive this situation. What's going on with all this shutdown stuff, because like I said, it's not the actual virus that I see is going to be the major problem. The major problem was the reaction that people had, you understand what I mean, is going to continue to have an effect on us. You see what I mean? And we're going to be in a time right now where it's about to be, everybody for themselves. And if you from a community that the people could pull together, then they're going to be able to survive. But if you from a community where the people can't pull together and they continue to search, for the government or whatever other, the mystery god or whatever other entity to, bring them salvation at this time. Power Bill, Dated. Yeah, I told everybody it was gonna be a big What Did I Miss crew today. I was so busy getting the, trying to fix the stream up so that it works, so that we didn't have all the choppy stuff today, and I forgot to put the video on public. So when I first came on, it was on private, so everybody came in kind of slow today. Power Bell said just now it's in the title, it was always someone looking for outside of the truth, and you have those who have agreed and live accordingly. Yeah. Power Bill, we speaking on, in particular, that in that degree though, it only tells you that we agree on there is no God but the Son of Man. You know what I'm saying? But we see a lot of, listen, y'all come in, y'all ask a lot of questions. You know what I mean? 5% NGE. To me, that whole thing is searching for trillions of years. Both sides. That's how I see it. You understand what I'm saying? So, in particular, yeah, we agreed on that, but even getting into what the brother was saying about unity, this is why, the brother had asked a question about why it's not more cooperation amongst civilized people. That's because we may come together and agree that there's no mystery God. But see, coming to an agreement is a science too. Like anybody, that dealt with a black woman could tell you that coming to an agreement, if you got, multiple brothers and sisters, y'all grew up in the same house, coming to an agreement is a science. Coming to an agreement is a science. And there's a science that's searching for trillions of years too. Joseph says searching is to be continuously looking. Search is already have questioned or examined. So first you have to answer. Hold on. So first you have to answer what's left to search. But there are those who will continuously look over the truth. They're called 85ers. AC said, I have a friend who's searching right now. They keep coming back to me asking questions. Well, if he's coming back to you asking questions, he's not searching for that does not exist though. He's dealing with the science, right, of how you agree. That's why I said just now, there's a science of agreement. Like, in order for me to agree with you, I need to know certain key elements of what you're saying. You know what I mean? So that's the question. See, this is another thing where I said we got to look at the characteristics so we can understand who the person is that's certain for trillions of years, so we don't get caught up with them. So see, like in this situation right here, you know how they say, look, you don't cast your jewels amongst the swine. So is he asking you the questions in order to come to an agreement, or is he asking you questions in order to search for trillions of years? You understand what I'm saying? This is like when I say a lot of people, they get stuck when it comes to teaching babies. See, it's easy to I know, and they genuinely want to know the answer to that. So that's a little bit more difficult. See, it's easy to be, adversarial. The Christian says something about how you see things, and then you go into the Bible and smash them and all that. Yeah, that's easy. But what about when a baby asks you, yo, why you saying you God? And it's not that, he's challenging you in any way. He genuinely wants to know. See, that's where a lot of people get stuck. So, that's why I said, look at that characteristic right there. Is he coming back with questions to be like, aha, I told you wasn't God? Or is he coming back with questions to ask you, to get more knowledge, because knowledge is infinite. You told him certain stuff, and then, okay, that leads to a question. So he's coming back to get the knowledge that he needs to agree. Perhaps, I don't know. Asiatic mathematics says this exactly. Time was made by the original man for the coming and mastering of the present day hell in all its daily functions. And this is from Elijah right here. Is it? AC said they go away for a while, then come back. Well, dependent. He could be searching, because look, searching for trillions of years for that does not exist is also those people that I told you that you trying to get the understanding before you got the knowledge and wisdom. The people that sitting there racking their brain over the understanding of 120 lessons, and you don't even know 120 lessons. Like, see, state of the art, searching for trillions of years. And what do we keep putting in front of them? We keep telling them, study your lessons. Deal with the knowledge and wisdom. And what he keep doing? Running his mouth. Reveal. Peace, God. Divine Truth said in Knowledge agreeing in 1 and 40 also show and prove that those who bear witness to a mystery God will not do what's said in the degree, if taken literally, if the question was presented. I mean, guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? But the degree is spoken, from the context of somebody who agreed. You know what I'm saying? When he said, me and my people who have been lost from home for 379 years had searched for this so-called mystery God to bring them food, clothing, and shelter. You understand what I'm saying? But at this point, they see, they agreed that there is no God. We got the bar in here, knowledge born. So we got the Side Rally Smoke Squad picking up steam. Reveal said his cousin got the so-called virus. She's having twins. To me, the powers that be planting fear when they was babies, telling lies to our vision. I mean, listen, all these things is intricate. You know what I'm saying? I hope the twins come out safe, man. I don't have, I don't want to get too involved with that. What happened to Aisha with the question about Monrovia and Liberia? Calm Islamly said would it be right and exact to say that the Son of Man is the light within man, i.e. self of man. Once you acknowledge self, there's no longer a need for the mystery God. Yeah. Joseph said once you have the answer, what's left to question? Yeah, those people that can continue, you have people that question the answer even after the answer's been proven right. See, like I said, you still got people talking about Allah and his teachings. Even though, you know what I'm saying, we've been on the map for, continuously, without splitting, without, changing the teachings. We've been around continuously, and the impact that we've had on the universe, you know what I'm saying, is undeniable. And you still got people that question. AC that they're searching, not trying to come to an agreement, meaning the brother he knows that keeps coming back with the question. Well, at some point, you gotta cut him off. And so I'm gonna tell y'all this is kind of a sidebar, but this person is another person that's searching for trillions of years. That person, right, who they don't get the knowledge. They might even be from another civilized nation, right? But whenever they get into a problem, they always come, yo, God, man, what's the science of this right here, God? Yo, God, man, I got this situation, man. How should I deal with this? All right, Scrams, listen, man, that's my best part. That's my best part, man. Go get your own best part to save your life with. You see what I'm saying? This person is the 10%. Who they come in the blood suck you for your best part. But in the meantime, they searching for trillions of years in whatever else they doing because they can have the same knowledge and wisdom that you got. You offer them the knowledge and wisdom? Nah, I don't want that. They don't want to learn how to fish. They just want you to get them some of your fish. You see what I'm saying? This is another person that's searching for trillions of years for that does not exist. Asiatic mathematics said I was told the lesson on the clock was from Allah. Well, what else was in there besides that line? Because I know that there's lessons that was written down on the clock, right? But that science I learned in person, word of mouth. So the actual degrees on it, I'm not that familiar with. But if you tell me the rest of the stuff that was in there, I could tell you if that's the science that I learned that came from Allah. Calm Islam, he said, if it was predicted that Yaqub would make devil, then that means time was a factor before the devil. Well, we had to, this is a little side rally starting. Let's wait until we get the answers in terms of what was the other stuff that was in the degree. You know what I'm saying? Because, sometimes you could tell me one line out of a degree, but you got to tell me the lines that was around it for me to put it in some type of context. Indy Red, what's the deal, man? It's been a while, man. We ain't see Indy Red. Indy Red in the building. What happened to Aisha? D. Chris just said he's not on that degree yet, but would that mystery guy be like TD Jakes videos popping up? Listen, now that's something, man. Look, I gotta report somebody for hacking me or something, man. I have no idea how that could have happened. You right about that, man. I guess that's YouTube searching for that mystery guy, because they see me having, we over here, we the center man that agreed. So they had to show us the center man and search for trillions of years or something, man. I have no idea how that happened. That to me is the craziest thing. Like if it would have been somebody else, like, a conscious community guy or something, or, Sunyez or something that, but I don't even see how I got in the same category with TD Jakes. AC said, yeah, another person who's searching for trillions of years, a characteristic of them is they do a lot of talking and don't do a lot of listening. You know what I'm saying? So I see what you're saying. Yeah, he's searching for trillions of years because, if he really came to learn, then there would be much more silence. Absolutely. Cure the Cure. See Cure the Cure in a couple weeks. D. Christian said, for what it's worth, Ben Carson just said 98% of people who recover from the Guinness, it's all mental to a high degree. The fear plays a role. Yeah, that fear break you right down. That fear breaks down your immune system. Joseph said, you got to ask, what is the reward or penalty for searching for this mystery God? I think it's peace of mind. It's peace of mind. You know what I'm saying? Because they lack understanding. Like they lack understanding of what's causing all this to happen. You see what I'm saying? So, we got into this yesterday dealing with the blood sacrifices. You know what I mean? So, that was another form of searching for trillions of years. When, you throw a virgin in a volcano. You understand what I mean? Because it hasn't rained in a certain period of time. So you throw a virgin in a volcano. You understand what I'm saying? And now this gives you peace of mind that you've given an offering to this mystery God. And now the rain is going to come. Because they don't have the confidence in themselves as being the solution. They're in denial, like the brother was saying earlier, about who they are and what their power is to do. Because see, when you see this stuff that happens over your head, right? Look at the science of that, even what it's saying, right? It happens over your head. So you know what I'm saying? It's over you. It's more powerful. Like, if somebody's speaking over your head, they're more knowledgeable on the topic than you. So then the person lacks understanding about who is really causing all that to happen. What the science of that is, the attracting power of the sun and moon on our planet, and what our relationship is to all of that. You Matter of fact, natural saying what I was just saying, I could have just let him say it. They are the ones that lack understanding of what he gave to us. Dr. Dankenstein in the house. Dr. Dankenstein said if they civilized people who know who the true and living God is, they wouldn't be searching for that mystery like they still are to this day. Yeah, a lot of, yeah. Natural said I'm speaking about the ones who have the 1 and 2 and yet still questioning. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? You know, they're actually the worst people searching. You know, the worst people searching is the people, you know, if you grew up in the church, then you was raised to search for trains of years. You know, you've never been exposed to the knowledge of who you really are. But when you actually have the knowledge and wisdom, you understand what I'm saying? You know, like I said, even in, you know, like I said, you know, with the confidence, you know, we see that all the time where, you know what I'm saying, somebody don't have the confidence in themselves, right? And they constantly look into other things in order to boost them up. You know, rather, you know, it's a gang, rather it's drugs, you know what I'm saying? You know, whatever it is, they constantly looking outside of themselves. You know, this person is going to be most destructive when they have the knowledge and wisdom, right? And still can't see it within themselves. Joseph said, knowing but doing other than is dumb. Julia TV, you didn't get the alert. Yeah, I think that was my fault today, Julia TV. If you notice, the stream is smooth today. So I was actually working some things out, working with the stream. You know what I'm saying? You know what I was working on too, Joseph? I got the coffee mug too that says property of the mother of civilization now. I gotta send you the link for that. But I was working on a couple of things, and what ended up happening is when I first went live, the live was on private. But you know, the good thing is that everyone did the each one teach one and hit the like button. So then that's when I guess it started popping up and everybody started coming in. Julia TV. Halftime said TD Jake's video came up because the topic of that live was lepsy. Oh. Halftime, that we ain't got to search that sounds like I can all right. Now I have to be worried that Illuminati is tuning in and trying to sabotage me. D. Christian said exactly. It's like people come into class trying to school the teacher. They want to be the sensei with no proper training or experience. Yeah. You know, so that's definitely a person who came, you know, you came searching for something other than what's here. You know, you end up causing confusion. Asiatic mathematics said it talks about the meaning of each hand. For instance, the small hand represents the 10%, the big hand represents the 85%. And who wrote this lesson? AC said Joseph they don't know, so the way they see it is they don't have a reward or penalty because they don't know. That might be what they think. The bar said those who have agreed are those who study well and learn the root of all things in life. Daniel Addison said they suffer in a mental death and power. Cure LaCura said I was raised Catholic. Catholic schooling, baptism, Holy Communion, and when a trauma occurred in my life, that's when I started to question and search. Yeah, well, see, like I said, the 120 lessons is questions and answers. There's no problem with questions. You understand what I'm saying? It's a matter of, what are you questioning for? You understand what I'm saying? If you're asking yourself questions, right, to lead you to a greater understanding. Like if you're reading the degrees and you saying, man, I want, what does this mean right here? Or, why does it say 15,019 years ago in the 1 to 14 and it say 15,020 years ago in the 1 to 40? See, that's when you question it to look for an answer, a solution. And, for me personally, when I had that question, I went to one of the brothers. I didn't go pray on it. You understand what I'm saying? I went to one of the brothers and he dropped the science on me about which years the lessons was written in. But when you continue to question the answer, especially when you see people living it out, and people already living out the solution, and here you still coming questioning what's going on. Now we getting into, where you searching for that does not exist. Senator Shaw just brought up a good point. People do get penalized for lack of knowledge sometimes. Not just sometimes. That's what makes knowledge itself so important. That's why they teach and keep our people illiterate, because lack of knowledge is, first of all, if you lack knowledge, right, then your wisdom is going to be uninformed. Your wisdom, what you do, your ways and actions, right, how they going to be right and exact if you don't have knowledge. All right, no doubt, Joe. Yeah, I'm gonna hit you with the link when we get off of here. Why son-in-law, peace. Why son said waiting on a mystery God always causes them to dwell in the so-called bliss of ignorance and being complacent in a false sense of comfort. Yeah. Where I've had them tell me that one of these days something's going to happen to me and I'm going to call on Jesus and he's not going to be there for me. AC said the ones who have the 1 and 2 and still question might not ever get it. Like, not everyone is really going to get it. Yeah, absolutely. Joseph said the reward and penalty is them suffering in their own iniquity. No freedom, no equality. And they won't be receiving justice either. Motherland Gardens, peace. Got the Arkansas is starting to come in the building. All on the business. Self-Lord Allah. Said I grew up in the church, but as long as I can remember, I always felt in the back of my mind that I was being lied to, realizing that it's all in self is a hard thing to acknowledge. Yeah. You know, because when you, like I said, when you grew up in the church, you've been trained to search for, you know what I'm saying, trillions of years. So if something, you know, and you've been trained to wait, you understand what I'm saying, for trillions of years, you know, figuratively, until you die to really achieve salvation. So if somebody come and tell you that, nah, I got salvation right here for you right now, your training is going to kick in, and you're going to look over that knowledge and wisdom, right, and keep going. You're not going to want to see. Remember, in trillions, tribe means three. Right, Wordsmith? Now, as Born said, the lack of knowledge is the penalty. Lack of knowledge leaves you frozen in place, just ice. Yourself, at some point, that original man that's searching wants to search and agrees to keep searching for ghosts. Yeah. You know, some of them like the devil because the devil gives them nothing. You understand what I mean? Those wrong foods, they're going to continue to search for them. You know? Some people, you know, it's like, look, it's pretty well known. Like, look, let me tell you something. When I first got the knowledge, right? When I first got the knowledge, you know what? When I found out that you wasn't supposed to eat pig, right? You know what it made me think back to? That episode of Good Times when Michael was telling the family, yo, you gotta stop eating pig, man. It leads to hypertension. Anybody remember? I know Joe Self remember that. You know what I'm saying? If 793rd was in here, he'd be going crazy right now. But it made me think of that episode, and just saying that, yeah, you know, the knowledge that pig is bad has been out there. But, you know, even me, myself, the first time that wasn't the first time I heard about knowledge, but it was the first time that I heard they had a dietary law. But at this time, I knew about the dietary law, but nobody had told me about mathematics or nothing like that. I didn't know that they had knowledge. I just knew they was a group of kids that, you know, they was super tough at the time. That's what I knew of them. You understand what I'm saying? You know, they used to be the, you know, older kids that be, you know, they outside the store right there doing their thing, and we the younger kids, you know, we inside the store playing the video games and stuff. You know what I'm saying? And something happened where it made, you know, it circulated through the school where everybody was like, yo, you know, maybe we should be 5%ers. You know what I'm saying? And then somebody said, yo, if you a 5%er, you can't eat pig. And then there was this story that was circulating that it was a brother that he was locked up and he didn't eat, you know, he hadn't eaten for days. And he ate a fig Newton and the guy stabbed him up. And it was like, what? Like, first of all, at the time, I knew, you know, pork was pig meat. I didn't know about ingredients yet. You understand what I'm saying? This stuff might, like, knowledge, wisdom. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge, understanding. You know, so just to say that I myself experienced that. You know what I'm saying? Where, you like searching for trillions of years. You like eating the wrong foods. Then after a while, you accept the truth and you realize, well, for me, once I got the knowledge, once I realized that, okay, I'm not getting the knowledge to just be with these tough kids. I'm getting the knowledge because, I'm learning the supreme, knowledge and wisdom of the universe. I'm learning about who I am. Then it became a different thing. But when I was trained to search, when all I had was that training to search, there was lots of ways that I liked that. Starlight, Star Night, what's going on? Divine James, peace, Urban Gorilla. Jadeda said, I've had knowledge about a thing and didn't do the wisdom forever. I don't know if it was laziness or what. That's something constantly reinforced for me in the mind. Yeah. That's another form of searching for trillions of years. Being lazy. Not accepting that the only solution for whatever it is you being lazy about is you doing something. You know what I'm saying? The solution is in you. And as soon as you start looking out of yourself for the causes and the solutions, blaming everybody else, that's another form of searching for trillions of years. When you blame everyone else. See, these are different characteristics when I'm saying that, making this lesson walk and talk. Like, that's just one thing that is telling you son of man search for trillions of years. All right, who was these people trillions of years ago? Now, we know, the agreement, Elijah Muhammad agreed with Far's teachings, right? And then he taught him. And we all the son of man that agreed now. But, even that, okay, we all bring it up to date when we come into the knowledge, right? Whoever comes into the knowledge today, okay, you the son of man that agreed. We know that that's today. But like I said, that's just one topic. And anybody that's been around for a while, you know that it's not agreement on everything. But like I said, there's a science to agreeing, right? And there's a science to searching for trillions of years. See, that's so look, when we deal with the science of, does everyone here know the difference between a parliament and a rally? See, a parliament is when we come together. This is a governing body that we come together and we make decisions. And the order, having law and order amongst that body, right? Not just in each individual, but, in the actual mathematics that we're going to use. Meaning, okay, look, you can't talk for 2 days, when we trying to make a decision on something. You know what I mean? Different things, all right, look, this person is talking, everybody else do the knowledge. See, if we can't, that's the science of agreeing. Like I said, if you got a black woman and both of y'all talking at the same time, y'all not dealing with the science of agreement. So you, like somebody said, when the person is always talking and they ain't never taking the time to listen, then this is a person who searching for trillions of years, whether they like it or not, they search for trillions of years. And if you continue to stay in that conversation with them, you are now searching for trillions of years as well. While you said penalty is death, not a physical death, only a mental death. Cura said, this knowledge is not for everyone, right? Or is it for everyone at certain times individually? I studied the student enrollment, but in my head, I'm like, why am I studying this respectively? Well, see, how we say it is, the knowledge is for everybody, but everybody's not for the knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? And, water seeps its level. So even in terms of, you doing your teaching, you know what I'm saying? Like, it's some people that, say for instance, Joseph just brought up his old earth, right? You know what I'm saying? There's some people who, they got their old earth to stop eating pig. And she might still go to church and do it, but she stopped eating pig. That's the level that she could reach. That's the level of responsibility that she'll take for herself. You understand what I'm saying? And then some people, we're going to teach them, you know what I'm saying? And we're going to self-balance on the square. You understand what I mean? We're going to both internalize this, man, and become one. And there's every level in between that. See, like I said, some brothers, they just going to run into the God. They going to hear the stuff we saying, and they going to be like, yo, you know what? It was a kid over there, and, I was going to get at him, but, it's like school is coming out right now. I ain't going to do that, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't going to do it right now. Some people, that's the level you're going to get them. Because, look, we teaching civilization, righteousness, the knowledge of self, and the science of everything in life. So see, some people is just going to get the civilized. Some people is going to get to righteous. And some people is going to get to knowledge of self.
It's 6 o'clock.
And then even after we get to that, some people is going to master the science of everything in life. And some people is going to be dim bulbs. We all know them. Now, I was born, said Michael stayed bombing on the family on Good Times, yeah. But that was, that's what it made me think of. You know what I'm saying? That, I've been hearing, for years, that pig is bad. You understand what I'm saying? And, that was one of the first things that I used to tell people. Like when I first was getting the knowledge and I was, doing what I could to teach people the dietary law, I used to bring up that episode. And, everybody, in that era had seen that episode, and it was like somewhere, it was like, yeah, that's true. You know what I'm saying? That, just generally speaking, this thing has been proven to be bad for our health in multiple ways. See, God bless hit something on the head that, we were saying, even in terms of yesterday, when we was talking to the brother that was dealing with the 1 to 80. Speaking of that, I think I know who that is. If Scientific come in here today, I'm going to ask him a question, and it's possible that I know who he is. Jula TV said they still show that episode on TV. While our son said no pork on the fork. God bless said we didn't have to search, it came to us. And see, that's what I was saying, when he was saying about the 1 to 80, like, I don't have to search because Allah already skipped us over all that steps. That's one of the definitions of civilization. Like, we got our definition in the degrees, you know what I'm saying? But the transference of knowledge from one generation to another is what societies and civilization is built on. You understand what I'm saying? When if you're not doing that, then you're just an individual that's gaining knowledge. And then when you pass away, you take your knowledge with you. You understand what I'm saying? But that is an excellent point. You know what I'm saying? Where, you know, us receiving this knowledge in the, you know, in the form that we did. You know, I mentioned that earlier. You know, that's when we stop searching. You know, every time we teach, you know, like right now, you know, if you got a son and you teaching him certain lessons that he learned, you save him trillions of years. You save him trillions of years of searching, man. The bar said, how can one question that exists? How can one question that which exists only if you keep searching for that outside of what does exist? Yeah, that's the only you know, 20 miles outside. You know what I'm saying? You know, the son of man who searched for trillions of years is the son of man that's going to be making the devil. You know what I'm saying? When you're looking outside of yourself for the cause and or the solution, you searching for trillions of years for that mystery God. Daniel Addison said it's easier to be led in the wrong direction. Hold on, I've been talking a long time. Yeah, see, let me catch back up. It's easier to be led in the wrong direction, harder to be led in the right direction, so they get set in their ways. This is that's so-called bliss. It's a high for them, yeah, when they say ignorance is bliss. D. Christian said it's a level of comfort for some people, and they do the knowledge is scary for some people. They rather the illusions of having something or knowing something. They sometimes need the social acceptance. They all the time need the social acceptance. When a person don't have the knowledge of self, you know what I'm saying, then their identity is based on everything around them. Their identity is based on the cipher instead of the cipher being based on them. You know, like when I was in Christianity, you know what I'm saying, it was just the people that was around. Like I said, the dude said that thing in the church. But, you know, that was somebody was talking about in the back of their head that they always, you know, knew that they were searching for something that didn't exist. You know what I'm saying? You know, when I wasn't coming to an understanding of Christianity, like when other people was catching the Holy Ghost and I'm not, right? I kind of felt guilty. Like I didn't understand, like how does everybody else in the family believe in this and that, you know, it seems real to them. Why it's not real to me? Like I thought something was wrong with me. You know what I'm saying? Not to the point where I went into no depression or nothing, but it was just something that kept making me question, like, yo, what is it that y'all are hearing when you praying? Like I'm not understanding, like how it feels when you catch the Holy Ghost. Like let me tell you something, man. I was in the road, and this happened to me more than one time, where I was in the road where the Holy Ghost came down the road like the wave. And you know when you in a sports stadium, everybody stand up and do the wave? Like I'm talking about down the road, the Holy Ghost, everybody catch the Holy Ghost, it gets to me, no Holy Ghost. Gets over here, Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost, Holy Ghost, all the way to the end of the pew. And I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, man. How? So it just kept leading me to say, yo, what is, you know, it wasn't, I didn't think, you could say I didn't think I was inadequate as a person, but I was like, yo, listen, I'm clearly not understanding this the way y'all are understanding this. So it just kept leading me to question Christianity. But I've been there myself with, you know, those illusions and, the social acceptance part. I guess I was kind of sticking with Christianity for a time after I didn't, because, I thought it was somehow going to be betraying my family, you know what I'm saying, to leave Christianity. AC said, I don't see how it can be a penalty if they don't know or have the knowledge. I ain't sure about this question, where it's coming from. This is probably a side rally, but see, the worst curse is being blind, deaf, and dumb. You know what I'm saying? The science that we dealing with over here in the wilderness of North America is based on the lack of knowledge. That's why we keep everything on cap, so we can't be separated from the knowledge. That's why we we adhere, we very adamant about not changing this knowledge and about maintaining our traditions, because these is the ways in which we was enslaved. When they took us away from our knowledge, which included our history, you know what I'm saying? Like, when you in places, you in some of these indigenous places, wherever you at, right? If you a hunter, your father was a hunter, your grandfather was a hunter, your great-grandfather was a hunter, your great-great-grandfather was a hunter. You understand what I mean? So this knowledge, you don't have to search for trillions of years to know where to find the animals at. Your family already has this knowledge, you know what I'm saying? And they pass it on to you. This is one of the things that happen over here. Like I tell brothers about the signs that sometimes you got to look at the gang brothers, right? The brothers that's in gangs, right? Some of them is living out their nature that was in their DNA for, maybe thousands of years as a warrior. Because, some of us is over here because we lost wars. You know what I'm saying? That's the science of, slavery in Africa. Tribes have wars. The tribe that loses gets enslaved. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. The ones who lost, they didn't lose because they were soft. They lost because the white man equipped the other side with weapons. You understand what I'm saying? So now you facing guns and cannons and different things of that nature that never was on the scene before. That's why you lost. It's not because you soft. So now this same warrior spirit is in you, and that same thing that's been ingrained in your DNA to protect your people in your village gets broken down to this block right here, this neighborhood. And now we start to react in this circumstance according to something that's been ingrained in us for generations. You see what I'm saying? And, when you deal with the Willie Lynch letter, that's what it's telling you. Take them away from all that knowledge. Take them away from all that traditions. You see what I'm saying? Because that's the only way you're going to get them to stop fighting to be who they know they are. You understand what I'm saying? You got to totally remove them from that. So this is why, man, not having knowledge is the worst curse. Because if you don't have knowledge, then you don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like if you ever watch the classes, when a new brother comes into the class, I often give them an example about the importance of knowledge and just knowing what you're going to do. You know what I'm saying? If I tell you right now that, okay, look, I'm going to give you a job in this building. You know, I give you the address to tell you, look, I'm going to give you a job at this building, right? Now, how do you know how to dress for the job? See, I just told you you have a job, right? And you come in the building, but I didn't tell you what your job is. I didn't tell you if you the president or if you a janitor. See? And that identity is knowledge of self in that circumference, in that cipher, right? You knowing that you a janitor, that informs you on what you do. Like if you know you a janitor, you're not gonna show up with your 3-piece suit on to be getting dirty doing janitor work. And if you the president, when you come in the building, you're not going down in the basement, man. I'm going to the basement for, I'm going to the penthouse. Got business to take care of. But see, you first have to have that knowledge of who you are. And if you don't have knowledge, what's going to happen? You're going to get kicked out the building. That's going to be your penalty. What are you doing here? I don't know. Okay, you got to go. I mean, I was supposed to be catching up and start talking again. Joseph said everybody is responsible for what they say they know. Have times said I've had the same question at times. I've heard people say it's not for everyone. What about to teach one and two to all the human families? Okay, halftime. What you gotta realize is that there's a duty for the teacher and a duty for the student. You know, I'm not sure if you're up to that degree, but when you want the knowledge, when you want the knowledge born degree, you know what I'm saying? Ezekiel, right? Or rather the lesson, the part that Elijah wrote is telling you about the duty of the teacher. But if you look at the Bible verses, it tells you about the duty of the student. See, the student has to prepare himself or not. See, all I can tell you is that you got it. You see what I'm saying? So, for instance, there's a lot of people come in the room, but look, some of these brothers have gone on to fast 3 days and get their lessons. Those are the ones who chose themselves. Those are the ones that chose themselves to prepare themselves. Others have not. You know what I'm saying? But like somebody was saying earlier, I think it was knowledge born. You understand what I'm saying? You know, you can warn the wicked, but what he's fallen victim to is his own iniquity. Our duty is to teach, but the student's duty is to learn too. You understand what I'm saying? You know, everybody in here that you see building, you know what I'm saying? Everybody in the room. You didn't become who you are, and you didn't build the power, you didn't build your ability to say the things that you say and draw up the things that you draw up just by listening. Just by sitting there and having the teacher lecture you. You have to participate. If you learning a language, you gotta speak. You understand what I'm saying? If you learning arithmetic, they got to give you problems for you to do too. You know? And at the end of the day, I'm going to tell you something. We say that we give people the knowledge, but in reality, we bring it out of them. And see, I don't care how powerful you are. Sometimes there's no there. You trying to pull something out of a person that ain't in them. And that happens in all walks of everything. You got people that, you get put on the line to do a certain job you ain't got in you. So, it's one of them things, that it sounds harsh, but only the strong survive, man. And only the chosen is going to make it. The key is to remember that each individual is the one doing the choosing for themselves. I'm not choosing you or not choosing you when I tell you I'm not casting my jewels amongst the swine with you. We qualify and disqualify ourselves. Now, as Bourne said, knowledge is infinite, so when a person fails to increase learning, they fail to progress in life. You only go as far as you know. Daniel Addison, as the wisdom at a cipher degree in the law-free cipher states, one is held responsible for the law prescribed, which is to teach uncivilized civilization. Blaine Snoddy says searching for that which does not exist could be looking for the right answers in the wrong places or looking too deep into something trying to draw up a conclusion that doesn't exist. Guaranteed. Guaranteed. You know what I'm saying? But see, that's one of the things where, like I said, you have to have the critical listening skills, right? In order to be able to problem solve. You know what I'm saying? So like you said, when, you're looking for the answers in the wrong place, I use this example all the time. You know what I'm saying? When problem solving, and they tell you, well, look, Sally has 3 apples and Johnny has 4 oranges and Jimmy has 6 pencils. How many fruit do they have all together? See, if you don't have the critical listening skills to be able to identify knowledge and wisdom, you ain't never going to come to the clear picture. You see what I'm saying? If you still trying to, put Johnny in this equation when Johnny doesn't have fruit. AC said about the 19th degree, how can they be penalized for not performing a duty if they're not civilized? Well, if I didn't clarify that just now, let me know. We keep going. Yeah, smell good. Yeah, like I said, when I got the knowledge, I was a kid, so the experience that I was drawing on, when I was expressing this to people was limited at that time. I wasn't limited, in my potential to experience and to draw understanding from that experience, but I just, I hadn't existed for trillions of years at that time. Joseph said, once you say you civilize, you teach civilization. If not, you're going to fall victim. That's why I say you're responsible for what you say you know. If you don't use it, you will lose it. Knowledge Born said, knowledge is the light is life. Your knowledge will only take you as far as you know. So if you are limited, you lack knowledge. Where we at here? See, I keep running my mouth. AC said, I'm saying someone isn't held responsible if they don't know. Well, this is actually, does anyone here, I got the wordsmith in here. I don't have Musa Deep. He's one of my scholars in the, these different books. But does anyone know what St. Luke chapter 12, 48 verse says? This is, I'm gonna get back into the comments, and hopefully by the time I get to the end, somebody tell me what St. Luke chapter 12, 48 verse says. La Illuminati came in the building. Peace. Al-Kim Salam came in the building. Knowledge Born said, plus this knowledge ain't just known, you gotta show and prove it. For some, that's too much responsibility. Julia TV said they was lying to themselves, God, they drank the Kool-Aid. They prepared themselves not. Joseph said, you're right, they should at least know right from wrong on a very basic level. Yeah, because you gotta remember, look, even the devil is civilized. So, we live in, in these societies where the, knowledge and wisdom on how to live a respectful life, how to build a home for yourself, and all these things exist amongst us. You understand what I'm saying? And each person has a self-balancing scale of justice. Every living thing, like animals know, right, when other animals of their species is being hurt. Like I even seen this, I was reading about this experiment the other day, right, where they was talking about, they was it was like some behavioral scientists, and they was talking about, empathy within the species. And they were saying that they trained these mice that is 2 buttons. And they trained the mice that, look, if you press this button, more food is going to come out. So all the mice, they got to the point where they was pressing this button the most. You know what I'm saying? But then they adjusted the experiment to where if the mouse pressed that button, they had a mouse in the cage with them, and the other mouse would get a shock if they pressed the button to get the most food. And that, I can't recall what percentage they was, but a significant percentage of the mice stopped pressing the button because they could detect that the other mouse was getting hurt. Or I seen, a time where the dude, they put, like chum in the water, and all these sharks was coming out to the boat. The sharks were surrounding the boat. They was feeding them. And the dude had 1 vial of shark blood. He poured it in the water, and within 2 minutes, the whole harbor where they was at was empty of sharks. Every kind of shark. Because the sharks realized, listen, man, sharks being killed over here. We need to get up out of here. So, when we say you have a self-balancing scale of justice, we really do have a self-balancing scale of justice where people know right from wrong. they just rather search for trains of years. You see what I'm saying? And then, like I said, at the end, when you're doing something that's harming everybody around you and you end up with your justice, that's when you realize, when you got that number with them letters behind it, something to life, that's when you realize that what you were searching for never existed. New Black World Order said, when I felt like I was going to have the Holy Ghost, I ran out the church and never went back. After I saw the elderly lady falling over the floor and vomiting, I wasn't having it. Yeah, it used to be a lady that she used to catch the Holy Ghost pretty much every SW in the building. What's going on? It used to be a lady that she used to catch the Holy Ghost, right? And she used to fall out on the floor every time, but her outfit would never get messed up. Like she never, some people, they be going crazy, hit all over the place, purse back over there. But this one lady, she would always fall fashionably. That's when I was, I'm noticing this, kind of on my way out the door, like, yo, this ain't real, is it? Like, I'm starting to catch on here. Daniel Addison said they forced him to read the Bible. Wise Ruler said if one doesn't have knowledge, then one doesn't know they are even cursed. Yeah. How do you even know? Like I tell people brothers say, yo, they don't have to study the lesson because they are the lesson. But which one are you? Who's the original man? Or what is the real devil? And how do you know if you don't know them? D. Christian said old timers used to say you can lead the horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But you know what happens? See, in the course of them searching them trillions of years, they end up running around the lake till they get thirsty. Let me catch back up here. All right. The wise ruler said there are some that will use it to master the original man, woman, and child, so one must choose wisely their student. Yeah. Do not cast your jewels amongst the swine. Divine education, peace. Life, law, peace. Knowledge versus belief. From my wisdom is knowledge in motion or activation through words and actions. On that note, knowledge is law. Asiatic mathematics said, but he who did not know, yet committed things deserving of stripes, shall still be beating, but with less stripes. Did y'all catch that? Did y'all catch that? He who did not know, yet committed things deserving of stripes, shall still be beaten, but with less stripes. For everyone to whom much is given, from him much will be required, and to whom much has been committed, of him they will ask more. So I'm just saying, getting into what AC was saying about those who don't know. You understand what I'm saying? You know, this is not always an excuse. Like right now, if somebody disrespect your family and they say, "Oh, I didn't know that was your family," that may not make a difference. You see what I'm saying? Depending on what they committed. But that's a little known thing that a lot of people don't know what chapter 12, 48th verse say. That you get beaten with stripes when you don't know too. Less stripes. La Illuminati said, who much is given, much is required. Joseph said, but the one who does not know and does things deserving of punishment will be beaten with few blows. You know, so, you know, this is going into what this side rally has been about. You know what I'm saying? And, you know, what I'm telling you is that the Elijah part of the knowledge-born degree, right, tells us about the teacher's duty. But the Bible verses in there tells you about the student's duty. Shakim said, in my own words, it's saying if you perform your duty and your words fall on dead ears, you are no longer responsible because you did your job of making knowledge known. You understand what I'm saying? So what Shakim is saying is that, listen, man, a lot of people, you walk around saying you don't know. But like I was just saying with what I was saying with the example with the mice and the sharks, is that now we got a self-balancing scale. We got a self-balancing scale that it starts to kick in. See, babies, you know, kids will hit each other and take things from each other because they haven't, you know, when they look at their tribe as just the people in their house. But the older you get and the more you come in tune with other people, you understand what I'm saying? And the more, you know, you go through experiences where, you know, you experience what hell is. You know what I'm saying? When you experience what hell is, you know, then, you know, your self-balancing scale of justice is going to kick in, right? Now, it might kick in a warped way. That's what happens sometimes. Meaning, you know, you got a lot of people say they gang members, right? They started off, something happened to them. And so they self-balancing scale told them, right, that, okay, now I got to go out and do it to other people. See, that's when it gets a little warped out. But over time, you know what I'm saying, all of our scales kick in. You know what I'm saying? Even, you know, some of the most heinous gang members from the 80s is, you know, community activists now. You know, they out there making peace treaties now. Because that scale is going to kick in. Divine Education said even elephants mourn their dead. Exactly. This is another good example. Thank you for that. You know what I mean? Lots of animals, they mourn their dead. You know, whales. You know what I'm saying? I was seeing something where I was reading an article where they were saying that, you know, baboons carry around their dead infants. You know what I'm saying? For a period of time. You know what I'm saying? I've seen things where, like divine education is saying, when an elephant died actually a long time ago, and I seen the elephants come and just, they be around the bones, and you see them, when you are observing just the body language, and they don't come to every set of bones, they come to the particular sets of bones of elephants that was related to them. You see what I'm saying? See, even, look, dogs. See, that's what I said about as you become older and you begin to understand that more people is related to me. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is a whole human family right here. Once you come to that level, then things kick in. When you start to see that, okay, we all one. See, that's why dogs is so loyal and have so much empathy, and they help, because whatever is the mechanism in their mind, right? The dog has the ability to see any group that he grew up with as his pack. The dog responds to the owner as the leader of his pack. And the leader has to be protected, because this is how we all survive. You understand what I'm saying? So that's why I say, that self-balancing scale of justice, you gotta come to a realization of who is us and who is them. But for some people, it just takes more help. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, some people, something can happen to them, you know what I'm saying? And then, not saying that necessarily, I'm not all that officer friendly, but I'm just saying, look, you can have two kids. One kid gets robbed as a teenager, and he decides that, look, he's going to be a cop, so he can stop other kids from getting robbed. The other kid may go on a robbery spree. So see, for the first kid, that little bit of hell made a difference for him. The second kid, he might need 25, 30 years of jail. He might need 25, 30 years of that kind of hell in order for a scale to kick in. But it does kick in. Verse we said, chapter 12:48 is a lengthy verse. Yeah, because it's it's intricate. You know what I'm saying? It's not intricate, but it's something, even like right now, we spend this time talking about it because we so used to saying, the person that knows is responsible, and we overlook, you understand what I'm saying, that now the person who don't know gets beaten too, just with less stripes. You understand what I'm saying? It says few stripes. 47th degree tells you many stripes. SW said, please do the knowledge to this. It's about accountability. Smell Good said, my mom's church had that lady too. Yeah, I had the lady who, listen, her hat was always still tilted. Listen, slip was never showing. Fall out on the floor, slip never showed. All in the business said, if someone is doing something out of line in front of the babies, at times punishment is qualified. There's levels of irresponsibility and disrespect. As SW said, they method acting. Yourself said, like a king, accountable to self and accountable to your family. Knowledge Born said, word is born. See, I keep talking too much today, man. I've been having that problem the last couple of days. Now, I was born, said, word is born. That's what I learned during my bid. All the trappings of life eventually trapped me. I was savage. So, he's saying that, he needed to go through that degree of hell for his scale to kick in. Even for himself to say, look, this here ain't for me. You understand what I'm saying? Manola Music. As W said, running around the mountain till the goddess drops out the sky. You see, that's what happens. I'll be talking too long. I lose track. I see comments. I don't know what it means. Smell Goods said, I didn't know what that ghost was about till I learned how to fake and shake. Knew I was BSing and had to confess to my mans. He couldn't believe I was doing it too. So what made you decide to just fake it? Because that was something about, I was like, yo, man, I just wanted to be, look, we went to a church one time, and my aunt, she wasn't jumping all around, but this was like one of them holy roller churches. And they telling everybody to come up to the front, and it's like, every time the preacher come talk to somebody, they start, and then my aunt, she started crying. You know what I'm saying? So then she thought she was saved for a minute. I don't know what happened. I ain't see her around church too much after that. Now, as Born said, it's one in every church. Here goes Sister Helen. She done caught the ghost again. Oh, man, that lady's world famous. John Data says, so when the square stood perpendicular, he must choose the land upon which when the square stands perpendicular, he must choose the land upon which he is measuring. You gotta clarify that question. D. Christian said, yeah, that's the justice. You're going to get that reward or penalty depending upon your actions, so one should definitely knowledge they cipher and do the knowledge at all times. Knowledge Born said 1248. That's the science of ignorance of the law is not an excuse. Oh, man. John Data said, first must measure to make sure the land will be useful once you begin to till the soil. All in the Business said, that's the science of not warning your friends of their wicked ways. You continue to hang around people without them taking heed to knowledge, you might get beaten with stripes alongside with them. Well, see, at that point, all on the Business, you participating. You understand what I'm saying? Like this is like a Tekashi situation right here. You know what I'm saying? Not saying that he had the knowledge, but just saying that anytime, he may have had the knowledge, but you knew what you was doing was wrong because you spent the first 20 years of your life avoiding doing stuff like that. So you knew what time it was. You see what I'm saying? But yeah, once a person is doing wicked, right, and you don't say nothing to warn them from their wicked way, right, and you being amongst them, you participating. You worse than them. You the problem. You the neutral person. See, that person, they'll go ahead and look, they'll receive their stripes. And like I said, in time, because look, even people on death row, man. There's people on death row that they find Jesus, they be like, yeah, I know what I did out there was wrong. That's why a lot of them be like, yeah, man, go ahead, take me out, man. I know that was foul. I was wigging out. I was on drugs. I had problems, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The vast majority of the ones that I seen them interview. You know what I'm saying? The people you see that still talking, yo, we in here doing this and we stabbing everybody and taking people's stuff. Those are new cats. But them dudes that been in there years, months, and days, they on death row, they scale kicks in, man. New Black World Order said that Sword issues justice to all dealing with equality, penalties, and rewards. All in the business said if you want someone and they don't change, you got to maintain the space because you the one with the magnetic, exactly. Joseph said E equals 5, 10 equals justice, equality on both sides, balance. Now I was born said, judged by the company you keep. Somebody drop a pack, everybody guilty if no one confess, you know? And you know, a lot of times, you know, if you the person who's righteous amongst them, you know, you're gonna pay the penalty is gonna be worse for you. I'm talking about just inside your own self. See what I'm saying? Because look, like he said in that situation right there, the dude who dropped the pack, his people, you know, he already know he going to jail. You know, he in and out. His life is set up around that. But you as the righteous person who need to get home so you could bring dinner or so you could bring diapers or whatever is your responsibility, you understand what I'm saying? More, you know, you upholding more weight than him. And you don't have the spoils of the negativity that he's doing. So you're going to end up, you know, the reward is going to be worse for you. I mean, the reward, the penalty. Joseph said justice equals reward, a vehicle of power, penalty, a vehicle of power. Now, I was born said sometimes, hold on, I got to stop talking. It's not me, it's y'all. Now, I was born said sometimes I ask people what's the difference between right and wrong. The judge, absolutely. You know what I'm saying? You know, that you know, when you see the two scales, right? It's two of them. But that point in the middle, Asiatic mathematics, what's the name of that bar that's in the middle that the scales balance on? See, that's the knowledge. You understand what I'm saying? And this has got to be perpendicular. This has got to be perpendicular in order for the scale to balance correctly. The point that it's balancing on got to be on the square. Or if not, you're going to get injustice. All in the business said you around a gang member and his enemies see you both as one. That's why you're responsible to teach and shouldn't be hanging out, wasting time. Build or you may be destroyed. And you know, these are actually lessons that, you know, every, you know, young black man needs to know. You know, in terms of this, you know, these last couple comments y'all making right here, these are things that every, you know, you seeing your son outside, this is knowledge you better give him. You know what I'm saying? About who he is and what he's doing and who other people is and what they doing. You know what I'm saying? Or he'll end up in the penitentiary searching for trillions of years for his release date. Joseph said knowledge at a cipher. When you know the cipher, then you know where everything belongs. First things first, and New Black World Order said it, last things last. Black Just, what's the deal? I think I'm going to be out there this weekend, God. Be out there this weekend to handle some BI. Smell Good said, no BS, looks something like Aunt Esther, Old Glory. Oh, man. Listen, you know this conversation this conversation has come a long way when we bring it up Aunt Esther. You bring it up Aunt Esther with the fish-eye fools. All in the Business said the finest gold has to be scorched and flamed to be refined. Asiatic Mathematics said that Luke verse is dealing with equality, hence the scales of justice you mentioned. 1248, all born back to equality. Mathematics don't lie. Smell Good said, I decided to fake it because we were over at his girl's house for Bible study, but she had plenty of girlfriends that came through too. Bagging, legging, shaking a little. Oh, I see. This is different. This is a little, listen. That's you pull the Adam. you pull the Adam. You pull the Adam, and you saw the brush doing it. You was like, You pull the Adam in the Garden of Eden right there. D. Christian said, off topic, but why is the media focusing on the African American and brown communities in regards to the Guinness? Seems like they switching the narrative right before our eyes. Well, you know, when there's an issue like this that comes up, I generally stay away from the news, especially the TV news or something. You know what I'm saying? You know, I generally read the news, but the more an issue that I know it's an issue that's a cloud of confusion, then I don't really pay attention to the blow by blow. You know what I'm saying? You know, I can't call it. You know what I'm saying? Like, look, I know a brother that, you know, he said 3 of his seeds had it. You know what I'm saying? They home now. You know, one of our brothers that come on the lives. You know what I'm saying? He said 2 of both of his parents had it. You know what I'm saying? You know, a brother was telling me, you know, that I build with on Instagram. He was telling me that he know 3 people that returned from it. You know what I'm saying? You know, Umala was in a, you know, I haven't gotten a chance to speak to him, you know what I'm saying? But he went in the hospital, you know, that's what was told to me. I didn't really get full confirmation on that. But, you know, Umala tested positive for it. So, you know, it's one of them things where, you know, see, first of all, when people is dying, you know, for me personally, there's just a certain amount of respect. Like, listen, you know, like I saw the other day. See, this is how I start talking too much, these examples. But I saw the other day an episode of Sarnetta with him and the brother Rabon. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sarnetta and Rabon. They was getting into it about the things that Sarnetta was saying about Guinness. You know what I'm saying? And you know, Rabon was kind of upset because he felt like, yo, you know, all this stuff that you know, you telling people that it's fake and it's this and it's that. It's like, yo, my man got it. You understand what I'm saying? Like, you know, it's certain things, like even when you see these situations where people be like, yo, nobody really died in the school shooting and all. Like, listen, man, don't get me wrong. I've seen some things, you know, in some news clips from some of those events that's like, yeah, that looks a little bit enacted. You understand what I'm saying? But, you know, there's certain things that when it comes to that, listen, man, you know, like I said, you know, because another brother asked me about this. He asked me, you know, how, you know, I mean, look. See, first of all, D. Christian, I already kind of thought that when they said what was the underlying conditions that make it more lethal, that's the first thing that came in my mind. Is that, you know, this is the black and brown family. You know what I'm saying? In terms of, you know, overweight, diabetes, you know, asthma. We were talking about asthma in our communities for years. So, you know, like I said, I don't hang around the hospital in general. So, you know what I'm saying? I can't really say I'm not the one that's seeing the cases. You know what I'm saying? But, I mean, that was something that I expected, you know, like, you know, in the beginning, I remember it was people saying that, yo, black people can't get it. You understand what I'm saying? So, you know, with these things, I just observe, man. John Data says, so the useful land is the wisdom. Where we at here? The useful land is the wisdom and understanding, and we start our own ciphers. When you picking a student and acting with the knowledge of justice, you may measure right and exact. Justice is also how a wise man builds by measuring first. In regards to you not casting Jews before swine, to be careful about picking students. I mean, I see what you're saying. I just wouldn't use the word picking.
It's 7 o'clock.
You understand what I'm saying? You know, we kind of don't choose. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, because remember that the student is qualifying and disqualifying himself, and you qualifying and disqualifying yourself. You know what I'm saying? Meaning, you know, people come on the live, right? I don't really choose. You know what I'm saying? I don't really pick. You know what I'm saying? People who want to learn make themselves, you know what I'm saying, evident. You know, the magnetic kind of causes that. You see what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say, you know, we pick them. However, we do make sure that they qualify or disqualify themselves before we give them our best part. Indy Red says he's naming his first child justice, rewards penalties based on one's actions. The AC said, so yeah, it's definitely the fulcrum, but I thought it was a specific name for it. We're talking now about the point where the scale balances and how that point has to be right and exact. It has to be square or you get injustice. Black Justice said justice is causation. Abdul Rafi, what's going on? We see Abdul Rafi in a while. What's going on? Yo, have y'all, is there people cheering outside around y'all right now? Oh, this is a different Black Justice? I thought this was Black Justice in Medina. He in C Medina. I've been telling you this for 2 days, man. You just not telling me, man. Oh, man. Peace to the God, though, man. Shout out to C Medina. Abdul Rafi, and we see Abdul Rafi in a minute. New Black World Order said, didn't do nothing, don't cut it. Yeah. You understand what I mean? Because, you know, in terms of, let's add that on to, you know, the brothers talking about how lack of knowledge is you know, one of the causes of you receiving a penalty, right? And let's deal with, you know, justice is a penalty or rewards from one's deeds, actions, thoughts, and inactions. Because there's things you're supposed to do, and if you don't do them, then you get a penalty for that. You see what I'm saying? As W said, it's a stream of chaos and little fact. Is there people outside yelling outside around y'all right now? It's something where every day at 7 o'clock, everybody comes outside and just start yelling. At first, I thought they was talking to somebody. Then I don't know what happened. Wise Ruler said, I also know a couple of people. Wise Ruler said, I also know a couple of people beat it and a couple that returned. Yeah, see, that's, so, like I said, man, fortunately for me, and that's another thing about this. I realized that too. About 2 days ago, I was thinking that, something? I just don't have a history of illness in my family. Like, just generally speaking, you know what I'm saying? We've been blessed with that. Where, like, I don't really, people in my family tend to return from wear and tear. You know what I'm saying? Like, my grandparents, everybody, I think my grandfather was maybe like 81, like 82. He was like in his early 80s. And he's the youngest one of my grandparents that returned. You know what I'm saying? My great grandmother, she got to like 98. People in my family tend to return from wear and tear or, stuff that they doing, living on, you living too fast and hard, things of that nature. So I don't really know, you know what I'm saying, how to, you know what I'm saying, I just generally speaking, when different things of the health nature come up, it's never really affected me like that. You understand what I'm saying? So I don't really, that's why I just like right now, I'm like, man, I'm not really thinking about coronavirus. I don't have, people in my family have conditions, the same conditions that they say is the underlying factors, but probably the most, got people in my family that wear glasses, but I just don't have a medical history. You know what I'm saying? Like when I go to the doctor, every blue moon and they ask me these questions, I don't have, nobody in my immediate family had anything, like I said, they got these conditions, but that's from the food that they eating. You know what I'm saying? It's not, just in our DNA. You know what I mean? You got people like that they got high blood pressure and it's genetic. New Black World Order said they are combating the mystery teachings that African Americans can't get it. So it's a good thing to dispel misinformation to a people clouded by misinformation. I didn't think about that. That's a excellent thing. Because I just brought that up, that at first they were saying that black people can't get it. So, to let some people know that, you actually can get it, you know what I'm saying? And you need to, like what I'm saying is, don't try to take a whole bottle of vitamin C right now and think that's going to save you. You know what I'm saying? Like this shit spark you to say, okay, well, look, I'm gonna change my diet because I see that, these things can affect me. Joseph said, when it comes to false flags, think about them like movies. Real people die in fake movies. Stuntmen have accidents all the time. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I said is that, listen, which came first, the false flag or the event? Which came first? See, a lot of times we can set up the false flag after the event. Like, say an ambulance chaser, right? The lawyers that do the accident stuff, right? Now they could put all this BS, right, about a real accident, or they could have people stage an accident. Like, there could be a real accident. Like, look, I've had times where, look, one time somebody hit my car and it was parked. And some people called me and said, look, we heard you got into an accident. I was like, nah, at the time it didn't register because I wasn't in the car. And he said, yo, we got this thing right here. I was like, oh yeah, nah, that's somebody hit the car. No, first, before I said that, he was like, nah, we got right here that you had an accident. So he was like, look, even if you're not injured, he said, even if you're not hurt, come down and talk to us. And then that's when I told him, like, nah, I wasn't even in the car. They hit it when it was parked. You see what I'm saying? So he was going to stage the false flag after. That being said, I've seen people, make the deal where, look, you're going to be driving right here. You run into the thing, and then, we're going to do the thing. You're going to get this much money. You're going to get this much money. You understand what I'm saying? I've seen it work both ways. So, D. Christian said, Darkim, I understand your point of view. Definitely don't want to disrespect those who went back to the essence. Just thought it sounded like a scapegoat thing, but yo, gonna fall back and do the one. Yeah, I mean, well, at least in New York, they've already, the some of the little bit of news that I did see was that they saying it's European. They saying that the cases that's in America came through Europe. That it may have started in China, but Europe was the real incubator. Like, they analyzed the DNA of the virus, and they said this came through Europe. So, see, like I said, right now, we dealing with a lot of information that we don't know if it's knowledge yet or not. So, pretty much everything what we doing, we just giving our ideas of certain things. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, just like we saying right now, all these things, they could put that out there, but it's still down to how we react. If all the black people run out and start buying toilet paper right now, then we'll know it was bad. You know what I'm saying? Joseph said, what we do know is our people don't generally eat right or take care of their physical. That's not, it's, we played into the hands of this thing with our diet. Asiatic God Mathematics said, yeah, I think Data is right, but she's holding the scale from the top. Yeah, see, you talking about Athena. You talking about Athena, who's blind, Justice, right? She got a blindfold on. How you observing the scales? How you observing the scales with a blindfold on? But we don't got Athena affiliated with the scales of justice in the 5%. While ruler said we got a lot of bad eating habits from slavery. Yeah, I did some bad eating habits yesterday, man. I didn't eat for the whole day. And then when I started cooking, right, I was watching Sunya's class and I started cooking, right? But then while I had the food in the pot, I started working out. So I don't know if it was because I didn't eat all day or it was the workout. But yo, when I ate the food, man, it was like I seasoned it to perfection. The tenderness, the crispness of the cabbage. You listen, it was to perfection. And yo, man, I ate so much, man, that I had to listen. I'm talking about I ate so much, man. When you say your stomach is full, oh man, look, I couldn't move for hours. For hours. I was like, yo, I don't know how I did that. I just kept eating. But listen, I don't think it was the workout or that I didn't eat, because I got up this morning and I had some of the leftovers. Oh man, it's still, listen, even after being in the refrigerator, it was perfection. I'm telling you, man. It was like Sunday dinner or something. And Jadeda said, what is it, like a Cuban Day parade? Nah, that's some people. That's some people who at 7 o'clock every day, they just come outside and start yelling. It's supposed to be some kind of supporting the nurses or something. They said it's on the news. I don't know what's going on. S. Reeves, peace of the God, said, Black Justice Allah, I served trillions of years in C. Medina. Sounds like a party outside your window. Yeah, I don't know what that is. It's supposed to be, yeah, they celebrated the God Hour, but it's something on the news where they keep talking about, thanking the nurses. Yeah, they out there banging on pots and all type of stuff, man. Julie TV says spreading that corona. Hey, man. Well, now the new thing they saying in New York is, well, this is the new thing now. This was something they were talking about. I don't think it was New York, though. But it was someplace where they were saying they wanted to pass the laws where they could come in your house and remove someone, because now they're saying that the main mode of transmission is in the house. So they want to be able to come in and remove or isolate certain people in your house. I don't know what that is, New Black World Order said they can't be practicing social distance. Hey, man, who knows what they doing? They was yelling where you at 2 AC last night? Yeah, who knows, man? Yeah, Shaquem said the part you're describing is the fulcrum. Yeah, I know it as the fulcrum, just in general, what I'm saying, being the point of the moment in arithmetic. But I was just wondering if there was a specific name, but the science, what I'm saying, is the same. D. Christian said they celebrating that $1,200 check that just got deposited. Yeah, I heard that some checks went out today. Was it yesterday or today? I heard some checks was going out. Our God, peace. What's the deal? Where you from, my God? What y'all God is this? Julie TV say he saw it on CNN. Fly phrase. Joseph says scales don't need to be held. Now, as Born said, that part of the scale is called a balance. That kind of scale is called a balance scale. Yeah, man. I'm Chef Christ RD, man. Chef Christ RD now, man. Speaking of that, we about to wrap this up because I got to be at the supermarket in a few minutes because, at 8 o'clock, it's lock, stop. Hey, go pick me up some stuff, man. I'm going to chef it to perfection. Julia TV said the sound on Sunya's video. Yeah, I didn't know if that was the sound, I didn't know if he was experiencing the same technical difficulties I've been experiencing recently, which today we seemed pretty good. We didn't have, wasn't too difficult to do what we do. We didn't have to reset nothing, had the green light all day. That's peace, Black Justice. Julia TV said they trying to be like those people in France. Oh, that's what they doing in France, going outside yelling? Oh yeah, no doubt. Yeah, hit that subscribe, because even after we complete right here, you know what I'm saying, when you hit the like, you know what I'm saying, when you hit the like and the subscribe, then the other people, who's not here, they get their alerts. You know what I'm saying? Should we do the each one teach one? Yeah, Knowledge Moore said he was the one that sent me that story about the World Health Organization wanting to come into people's house and isolate or remove people. I gotta come out and now see. We always got a lot of now see in here. That's one thing I gotta say, man. Now see has been doing some teaching. We always got a lot of now see in here. Yeah, Wise Ruler says some people already got their money from the bailout. Well, hopefully they send some around my way. Yeah, Save Your Seed Be Deep. Save Your Seed Be Deep in here. Chicago have a pretty good what's the name? Chicago got a pretty good population in here. It's a couple brothers from Vegas. Couple people from Vegas, but some of them is new. Chicago put up numbers. Cali put up numbers. Joseph said that is one thing to learn from Sonetta is his tech knowledge. His streams be flawless for the most part. Yeah. Be more. They put up some numbers too. Yeah, but that's I gotta end up setting up my everything so it work like his. Like I said, I gotta draw it up, man. It's like a certain where I gotta see like exactly and narrow it down, see what my bill is for this thing so I can get all the programs. Our God said knowledge is infinite, it has no boundaries. Yeah, it don't. But for me, it's still, one of those things where when you start doing something, a lot of times you don't really have an idea of the full potential of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I was coming to the knowledge, I was just getting the knowledge of myself, and most of the brothers, like even brothers that moved to other places, they was right here in New York at that time. You know what I'm saying? Like the knowledge was, right around here. If you wanted to, even that, like look, somebody don't know their degrees, we go to their house. You know what I'm saying? So for me, it's like when I see it, in all different places, like we had a brother come on live that's in the Philippines. You know what I'm saying? We have all different type of people. The last not the last, but one of the last civilization classes that I had, it was a Caucasian dude that came in from what's the He Cypher crew? Yeah, let me get up out of here, man. God just reminded me, man, supermarket. For y'all have me eating at a chicken place. For y'all have me eating fried chicken. For y'all have me eating fried chicken at a chicken place. Over here talking about hypertension. Infinite Mind down there in Mexico. That's what I'm saying. Now look, Infinite Mind's from New York. So, for me, it's like I actually saw at least some of that growth take place. So when I see it now, it's like, how you have a baby and the potential, but then one day you look up, man, and they full grown. You like, wow. You know what I'm saying? Like, I knew you was gonna grow up, but it's still, just because you know how something happens and you know the science of it, don't mean that it still wasn't great. You understand what I'm saying? Alice Moore said Roland Martin has a show where he discusses some of the best tools in tech for live streaming. Oh, they call Phoenix is Asia. Arizona is Asia. I see that. But yeah, we're going to have to end abruptly right now because it's like 7:24 and this jump off closes at the bell hour. So we actually had a great class. We did a live building, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, everybody hit the like. If you ain't already subscribed, hit the subscribe, you know what I'm saying? So, we continue to teach everybody that needs to be taught. So, peace to the gods.